Nowadays, it seems like everyone is trying to look for their potential partners online. Whether you're on a more traditional website like Farmers Only, or you're finding yourself constantly swiping right on Tinder, or even stalking some girl that you think is cute on Instagram, you're most likely meeting people online before you actually meet them in real life. Even if you only check your Facebook once in a blue moon, having a Facebook profile can greatly impact how your future potential date sees you. A Facebook profile is just the first impression, and if you're making a poor first impression, you might not even get to meet your matches in real life. So before we dive into what makes a Facebook profile attractive, let's start by discussing how much of an impact social media and the internet in general has had on us. A recent study conducted in El Salvador looked at two different groups of people, those with internet access and those without internet access. Each group was asked a series of questions about what they thought was attractive, focusing mainly on facial features and weight. The results showed that people without internet access favored men with more feminine features and women with more masculine features. The participants without internet access were also more likely to think that fuller figured women were more attractive. Researchers offered two possible explanations for why people with more internet access were more attracted to certain features. The first has to do with the biases that are sent out online and through news media. We have access to pictures and videos of anyone that we want to view, and often this media paints a picture of who and what we should think is attractive. The second has to do with our priorities in a partner. People without internet access tend to have limited access to other resources. Physical characteristics beyond facial features, stuff like strength, personality, the ability to raise and care for children, might be more important to them. People without internet access also might see food as a more scarce resource. This just shows that our time online has an impact on how we view ourselves and others as we're looking for potential attractive partners. So stay aware of this perception just as you browse through social media profiles and as you update your own. Creating an online profile, whether you are on a dating website or social media, it allows us to create a version of ourselves that might not exactly match how we really are in real life. You might think that you're an easygoing and relaxed person, but when you meet someone from an online platform, they might not think the same thing. The technical term for this is called catfishing. But don't worry too much about having everything perfect on your profile. Most people expect you to be just a little different. We've all had a time where we're really nervous before going out on a date with someone that we met online, and we've all heard some of the classic worries from our friends and parents. What if they're actually shorter or taller or fatter or older or weirder in person? You see, everyone is guilty of telling little white lies or maybe putting up a front on social media at one point or another. As long as your online profile isn't saying that you're 6'1" when you're really 5'9", then you really shouldn't run into too many issues when you meet your online date. So, how can you create an online profile that accurately represents you and gets the matches and dates that you actually want? Studies show that adding context to your profile, particularly to your photos, makes you more attractive to people who are actually viewing your profile for the first time. If you're posting photos of you standing in front of a toilet, that doesn't really show what type of guy you are. Now, if you're posting a photo of you doing something that you absolutely love, whether that's fishing, hiking, attending a football game, or any other decently attractive activity, then you are much more likely to match with people who have similar interests as you. Studies have also shown that social proof increases attractiveness. If your photos are getting a good amount of likes and comments, it is more attractive than photos without any comments or likes. I go more into the reason of this in my full course, The Psychology of Attraction. You can check it out in the link below if you're interested. Now, a quick tip before you start swiping or sending out messages is to have a friend look over your profile. They'll be able to tell you if you're over-exaggerating something about yourself, and maybe even if you're missing out on a key element of your personality. If a good friend sees that you're putting up a false front, most likely they'll call you out on it. Now, it's very important to make sure your friends don't write your profiles for you, but use them to help double check it. So, what else is attractive online behavior? Whether you like it or not, social media and online profiles can have a huge impact on how we view another person. Whether you just met them, or maybe even if you've known them for a while. If you're trying to spruce up your social media accounts before releasing them to the dating world, just remember that each person will have different tastes and what they actually find attractive. So remember to stay true to yourself and your interests, but to be safe, here are a few quick tips. Number 1, too many posts with an X, whether they're in a profile picture or anywhere else, will quickly be noticed, especially if someone is stalking you. No one wants to believe that they're walking into a complicated situation with emotional baggage. Number 2, politics online can get very tricky very quickly. If a potential partner finds you passionately arguing on social media about controversial topics, they might be turned off, even if they agree or partially agree with your views. And number 3, try to review the privacy settings on your profile and how far back people can actually see when they start to scroll through your timeline. Remember, those cake stand photos from college might be good memories, but they can make a potential date cringe if they appear on your profile. And lastly, if you're worried about your social media presence, you should try to set up a coffee date as soon as possible. The way you're perceived on social media can cause a lot of stress, but there is a solution. Don't use it for just dating. Once you set up your profile, keep yourself as private and ask people to meet up in real life sooner rather than later. Everyone who is on social media has the same worries about their profile, so skip the stress and just head out on a date. Let your date know the real you before they see the online persona of you. After all, if you plan on meeting for more dates in person rather rather than online, your real life personality is more important. Now, if you're interested in how to get more girls to like you, how to read her body language during the date, or just general attraction skills, I've actually created an entire video course called The Psychology of Attraction for someone exactly like you. I've read a whole bunch of books on dating tips plus 8 psychology textbooks and put everything that works to get, find, and keep your dream lady into a course with animated videos just like this one. You can check what else is in the course and some amazing stories that guys have had with the link in the description below, along with a coupon code for over half off today if you use that link. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something and gained value.